Alright, hello, another weekly chat. This one is about the riots and the people protesting and all that. I'll try to be quick about this video just because it's, mostly focused on Black lives and minority lives and stuff like that, and I just really don't feel like I have a voice for this. So I'll still give my 2 cents, but, I just won't be, I don't know, whatever about it. But yeah, so recently we've had people protest and vandalize all of Los Angeles, and this equated to like all kinds of main metropolises, cities around the US, and then I think around the world, major countries were kind of doing their own thing also to kind of show support. We did a day, I believe it was Tuesday, where we just stayed quiet, kind of reflect on people and the suffering and how something that happened in 92, the Rodney King thing, and the title of this video is a sublime song lyric, which is the whole song's about the what happened lately with burnings and riots and the cops and the effing police, so 187 on and yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. Anyway, I was trying to kind of lost my train of thought with that. But anyway, my thoughts with that is, I do what you got to do to make this change. I can't get upset at the looting. Do I feel bad for mom and pop stores? Yes. Do I feel bad for big stores? Not really. You hear about all those Walmart stores and or other ones that don't treat their employees that great. And at the same time, I also talked about how as a society we are so enthralled with commercialism that stealing shoes and expensive items is like a thing. To me it's silly because I don't want to be controlled by material items, so I don't like to have the idea of this expensive shirt is better than this cheaper shirt. I just go off of fabrics and comfort and durability, in terms of how good the product is. That's the only thing that could equate to prices and all that. But I don't want to talk about uh, products versus people's lives. This is about a man named George Floyd and him being killed by some cops and stuff like that. And death is crazy. Death sucks. I don't like corruption. Killing a man for no reason is stupid. It's pathetic. It's weak. I don't understand racism in terms of just hating somebody purely off of their look, let alone just hating somebody for no reason. The reasons for that, there's a long list, but one of them is there's too much energy. For people, if we want to live in a very ideal Zen lifestyle where we want peace and relaxation, which I would think everyone would want, it would take too much energy to have so much hate towards somebody you don't know. And so I grew up with cops in my life. I have great respect for them. The ones that I've witnessed were fine. I've only had a handful of bad experiences, but they weren't terrible, and I'm sure they weren't as bad compared to somebody who's black. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, protest, break shit, break stuff. Man, I've been cussing a lot more. Do what you gotta do to get your point across. Things can be rebuilt and stuff. It's just, I don't know how many times in history has something got demolished and we still press on. So it's not like these buildings and things can't become something else. And Los Angeles especially loves to not keep any of their old stuff. They just like to keep on renovating. So we don't have any history, so burn the whole town down. I don't care. There's nothing historic, just little pockets. But yeah, so that's crazy. Obviously, death's not cool. Death is terrible. Corruption needs to be fixed. Love each other because it's a lot easier. It's better for the world. It just makes that chi better, makes the flow of life better when you just kind of don't make somebody's life hard. So yeah, uh, that's all I think I wanted to say. Oh, a lot of I wanted to talk now about the social warriors, the social media warriors that you know I have more critiques on them and criticism on them. There's a lot of people that post about their kids and their cats and like dumb videos and dumb this, and now all of a sudden they get up on a cause and they have their 2 seconds. I don't know how many times I've seen somebody say, I've been quiet for a while, but now I feel like I have to give my 2 cents. Like that, like that's almost the sentence they start off with verbatim. It's like kind of pathetic how generic we all are. And it's kind of frustrating because I've been making these videos and I'm not trying to say I'm a saint, but it's like I try to do things that go beyond what big moment occurred to us, what catastrophe. Like I want to be a society that catastrophes aren't what trigger us to be good people. And so these social warriors, I'm not using that word correctly. I keep forgetting it, but the social justice warriors just bother me so much because you guys just only pop up when the catastrophe hits, and it's really sad. And the things that I've noticed is when I try to get things going, I'll message out to them and they just ignore my messages. So that's another thing that kind of cracks me up. It's like, hey, let's help in other ways, let's help in all ways, and cricket, cricket. So that cracks me up. Also, don't be that person who says, "I will unfriend you." If you don't, silence is compliance and all those things. It's just like understand there's levels of people, there's all types of people, and you're being actually very like ironic in a way, um, because you're calling for unity. You're calling for peace and for all of us to come together and not kill black people, and we all are one unit, one family. Yet you push away people. So that's just kind of hilarious to me. You don't believe in my views. You're not as passionate as I am. Unfriend. Uh, really interesting. So don't be that person. That just there's too much negativity with that. The hate with that. I am unfriending. I'm relinquishing you of the time that we've had, just because you are not doing what I want you to do. So yeah, those social justice warriors kind of bug me, and I know the irony of that too is because I think to a degree I am also, but whatever. Call me out on it, whatever. But yeah, so I think I said everything I needed to. The internet people still bug me. They're more talking. They just bark the loudest, and I found that the ones that bark the loudest online still are not the ones that are super progressive or helpful. Mind you, I'm starting a nonprofit myself, and anything that you're trying to do on your own is super difficult, and it's amazing how many people bark for world peace and helping, and we need to come together, and yet they don't when you ask for help or something of that nature. So it's very ironic because then the reason why I even mention all this is because then those people, if they're watching, you need to understand that's why there's not a whole lot of change. You know what I mean? Is because you're too busy barking and thinking you're better than a situation, and that entails to other things. These cops thought this man, they were better than him. They thought they were above the law and that they can do this and get away with it. Stuff like that. Because they just were in their own world. They didn't have this need to help. They just did what they wanted to do, and they thought their cause was just as good. So yeah, I am comparing you to some dirty cops. But yeah, I think this video came longer than I wanted to, but thank you for watching.